be told to everybody. But Hatib got wind. He heard the news. So he wrote the letter and he sent it to the Quraysh. Now, Ikhwan, this action, what is this? Hypocrisy? Is this spying? This is like being a spy, isn't it? In the Muslims against the Muslims for the Quraysh. Anybody who would just look at this hadith would think that Hatib was a traitor. But he was not. Jibreel alayhi salam informed the Prophet of the letter. So he sent Miqdal and Ali, another 2 companions. He said, go to this woman in the desert who's on her way to the Quraysh with the letter. Anticipate her and bring back the letter to me. So they went in the desert, they saw the lady, and they said to us, give us the letter which you are hiding, which you're taking to the Quraysh. And she said, what letter? I don't have nothing with me. And then Ali said to her, if you do not give me the letter, we'll take off all your clothes and we will take it. And then she took it out from the deep part of her hair and said, here you are, take it then. Because she knew that Ali was a man of his word. And he knew that she had this letter because the Prophet said it. And the Prophet, he does not speak of his own desires, he speaks revelation that's been revealed to him. So when Ali knew this, he knew for sure the letter was there. There could never be a mistake. And so she took it out and she gave it. They took the letter back to the Prophet ﷺ. He opened it and it said to the Quraysh of Mecca, indeed, the Prophet ﷺ and his companions are coming to attack you, to conquer Mecca. So make yourselves ready. Signed by Hatib ibn Abi Balta. When the letter was read, Umar ibn al-Khattab was screaming, angry. He said, O Messenger of Allah, allow me to take the head off of this munafiq. He called him a munafiq. The Prophet ﷺ said, no, wait. He called Hatib. And he said, oh Hatib, what caused you to do this letter, to write this? SubhanAllah, look at this. He's establishing the hujjah before he makes that accusation. He's establishing the hujjah. He's asking, what made you do this? And Hatib, he said, O Messenger of Allah, إني أعلم أن الله يناصرك. That verily I know and I believe that Allah is going to aid you and help you. Allah is going to aid you and help you. Allah is going to aid you and help you. Nobody would say that except someone who is a mu'min. Nobody would say that. And he said, verily, O Messenger of Allah, I did not do this out of a ridda, out of apostation from my religion. Nor did I do this out of hypocrisy. Indeed, you companions, you have other relatives in Mecca who can look after your families and your children and your wealth. I have nobody there. So I thought by writing this letter that they would take this as a favor from me and spare my family as they kill all the Muslims before they run away. And then Umar ibn Khattab again, he said, O Messenger of Allah, let me take this head off of this munafiq. So even after all that was said, Umar ibn Khattab still wanted to take his head off. Still. And the Prophet ﷺ, he looked upon Hatib and looked upon his companions and said that perhaps Allah has turned to the people of Al-Badr and said, do as you please, for I have forgiven you. And he let Hatib go. What do we learn from this hadith? I just summarized the hadith. The hadith is very long. I just summarized it. What did we learn? We learned so many things from this hadith, which clarify for us the subject of wala and bara, which clarify for us whether we become kafirs or not if we aid and help others against Muslims. First and foremost, the first point is, as I mentioned in the hadith, the first point of benefit is that the Prophet ﷺ, he did not listen to what Umar ibn Khattab said to take off his head in the first instance. He said, call him and let's establish the hujjah. Why he did this? Allah said in the Quran, وَمَا كُنَّا مُؤَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ لَهُمْ رَسُولًا. That we're not going to punish anybody until we send them a clear message, a messenger, to explain to them what's right, what's wrong, what's halal, what's haram. So this is the importance of us to establish the hujjah as to why the person is doing this deed, before we continue down the road of calling him a hypocrite or a kafir or waging war against him and so on and so forth. Is this what the Takfiris did when they saw or when they see all the Muslim leaders of this world today, not opposing America in Iraq and Afghanistan physically? They didn't ask them why, did they? They didn't make a single effort or attempt to. That's the first thing. And when they accuse us of supporting, Britain and the West against the Muslims, they haven't asked us why do you say what you say? They just jump, no, you're kafir, you have to follow Islam, you're a munafiq, you're a traitor. The second point of interest from this hadith is that the Prophet ﷺ, he made a very big, clear distinction between loving somebody and supporting them for their religion and attaining some benefit or worldly gain from them. Do you understand that? Two complete separate things. In this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ explained to us that there is a distinction, a clear separation between loving somebody, loving a non-Muslim, and supporting their religion, loving them for their religion, loving them for their deen and what they're teaching, and supporting them for that. That is the major kufr, which is referred to in the first ayah I've said right at the beginning, where Allah said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَتَّخِذُوا الْيَهُودُ وَالنَّصَارَى أَوْلِيَاءَ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. O you who believe, who have iman, do not take as helpers and love and friends the Yahud and the Nasara, because they are helpers and supporters of one another. This is specifically with regarding to their religion, matters of their deen. Do not support them in their deen. Do not love them for their deen. Do not cooperate with them in their religion, because if you do this, they are awliya of each other. As for Hatib, in this hadith, he clearly did this action he did for a worldly gain. Again, what was his worldly gain? Protection for his family, protection for his wealth, protection for his relatives. Upon this, the Prophet said, what did he say at the end of the hadith? He said, and this is the third benefit now. The third benefit is that this is a sin and not even kufr. To do something for a worldly gain is a sin, because Hatib definitely made a sin there. How do we know it's a sin? Because the Prophet said, go, for perhaps Allah has said, has turned to the people of Badr and said, do as you wish, I have forgiven you. Meaning, okay, it's a wrong action, but it's a sin, it's not kufr. Why is it a sin? Because it was in the worldly affairs that he sought their help and their aid. But it was against the Prophet ﷺ.